reveals many details of the terror plot. Investigation reports on Sunday's attacks to be handed over to all parties. Archbishop rejects bulletproof vehicle.
A very good evening. We'll start off with our top story this evening. Now, Sadiq Abdul Haq and Shahid Abdul Haq, wanted by the Criminal Investigations Department in connection with the Easter Sunday terror attacks which struck the country, was arrested in Navalapitiya. The shoe shop in Gampola, owned by their uncle, which was used as their hideout, was searched by security forces once again this morning. Now, police also discovered a video containing statements made by Mohammed Zahran, the mastermind of the attacks, documents belonging to his organization, as well as videos of a suicide bomb attack training conducted in Syria. Police said that the hard disk containing the footage was wrapped in cloth hidden inside a machine used to sew shoes. Meanwhile, police also discovered several burnt hard disks during their search operations today. Well, now the two suspects arrested in Navalapitiya are brothers of the same family. It has now been revealed that the group that aided and abetted the terrorists were members of a number of families. Charlene Benedict is ready to give us a comprehensive report on this. Just a note, we have compiled this report with the verified and published information we have received from the investigations carried out by the relevant security forces.
Thank you very much, Joel. Now, coming to you from the News First studios here with a special report regarding the attackers who carried out the attack on Easter Sunday, the string of bombings. Now, there are a number of families, as you can see here, involved in this attack. Let's take a look at family number one involved in the attack. The father, Mohammed Yusuf Ibrahim, he's a well-known businessman in Sri Lanka, residing in Dematagoda. He is currently in police custody. Now, this noted individual has 9 children, 6 sons and 3 daughters. Now, within his family, 2 of his sons, Ibrahim Muhammad Ilham and Ibrahim Inshaf Ahmed, were the 2 terror suspects who carried out the attack at the Cinnamon Grand Hotel and Shangri-La Hotel. Now, also, one fact that should be noted is the fact that Ibrahim Inshaf is suspected to have manufactured the bombs at a copper factory owned by him. Father Mohammed Ibrahim Yusuf and his 2 sons who were involved in this attack. All 3 are currently in the custody of police. Also, Ibrahim Muhammad Irfan, the eldest son out of the 2 brothers who carried out the attack, was arrested only yesterday. Now, it was Ibrahim Inshaf Ahmed's pregnant wife who detonated the explosives at his house in Dematagoda, which also unfortunately claimed the lives of 3 security personnel. Also, one thing that should be noted is the fact that her children were present with her at the time she exploded the suicide vest. And of course, all of them are deceased currently. Moving on with the rest of the families that were involved in this, family tree number 2. Taking a look at this, the mastermind behind the attacks is obviously known as Mohammed Zahran. Now, this has been confirmed by security forces, and we have continued to report on this during the past few days as well. The suspect is he's suspected to have died in the Shangri-La attack. He is the terror suspect who carried out the Shangri-La attacks. He's 33 years old. He has 2 brothers and 2 sisters. Moving on with more information, the brother of Mohammed Zahran, Mohammed Rilwan, and father died at the blast that occurred at the house in Saidamandu, Samanture. Now, this was the blast where 15 individuals were killed in Samanture. His brother and father were among them. His wife and 4-year-old daughter were among the survivors in that blast. Now, it must be noted the fact that the child that you saw in video footage that was released during the past few days, the child that the armed forces were carrying and taking very good care of, the child injured in the Samanture blast was none other than the mastermind's child. Moving on, also, there is no information available about the remaining 2 brothers and 2 sisters of the mastermind of this terror attack. Moving on to family number 3 involved in this terror attack. The Abdul Haq family, Shahid Abdul Haq and Sadiq Abdul Haq. Both of these brothers were arrested by police forces. Also, one thing that should be noted is the fact that the photographs of these 2 suspects were released to the media, and the police sought public assistance to arrest these suspects, and these suspects are currently in remand custody at the moment. Now, it should be noted that Sadiq Abdul Haq has traveled to Syria twice and received training in Syria before he had returned to the island. He is once again currently in police custody. These are the images released by security forces of the 2 brothers, Shahid Abdul Haq and Sadiq Abdul Haq, in the custody of the Nawalapitiya police. Now, Fatima Latifa, is the second wife of Sadiq Abdul Haq, and she too is in the custody of the Mavanala police. Now, it must be noted that a photograph of Fatima Latifa was also released by the police, and they sought public assistance to identify these suspects. Now, it is clear that all these suspects involved in this terror attack belong to just 3 families. Of course, this net could be wider. Only information revealed by the police forces and security forces will tell us how wide this net goes and how low, as in how great this threat is to Sri Lanka. Of course, we here at News First will continue to report on credible information to the general public. For now, the details revealed by the police forces is that 3 of these families were involved in this terror attack, and they are all either they died in suicide attacks or they are in police custody. Stay tuned for more details. Joel, it's back to you.
Well, thank you very much, Shalan, for bringing us that comprehensive report. And I'm sure now we know as to how this family tree spreads down the line. With that being said, you and I all know that CCTV footage has played a vital role in identifying these perpetrators in the terror attack which struck Sri Lanka on Easter Sunday. With that being said, 5 sets of women's white clothes have been found where suicide bombers detonated the explosives in Saindamaru. Now, more information on this has come to the limelight. Let's take a look.
3 women wearing burqas had purchased clothes from an apparel store in Giriulla for 29,020 rupees at 7 p.m. on the 19th of April. Among the clothing items were 9 sets of white dresses. CCTV footage shows the 3 women trying these clothes on. The driver of the vehicle they arrived in is seen speaking to someone over the phone just before they leave. Security forces discovered sets of these white clothes at the house where suicide bombers detonated their explosives in Saindamaru. The sizes of the clothes and the sizes mentioned in the bill at the apparel store are quite similar. The clothes that were purchased were large in size. The women had purchased a set of women's undergarments from the store as well. Meanwhile, it was confirmed that Fatima Latifa, who is said to have visited the Rajagiriya Jayasekara Ramaya temple on the day of the attack, was wearing a white dress. However, the remaining 4 sets of clothes purchased from the shop in Giriulla has still not been found.
Keeping with the news this evening, now a van believed to be used to transport the people who were killed from the explosions inside the house in Saindamaru was discovered by police officers from a house in Maradan Kadabala following a tip-off received by the Kapmunai SP office. The owner of the van was arrested, and according to his statement, he had transported 5 people from a mosque in Maradan Kadabala to Kalmunai on Friday, that is the 26th of April. The Kakrav police are conducting further investigations into this matter. With that, several other search operations also were carried out in line with this terror attack across the island.
Several members of the National Tawheed Jamaat organization alleged to be responsible for the Easter Sunday serial bombings along with military equipment were taken into custody in several areas including Varyapula, Sungavila, Anuradhapura and Ihala Puliyankulama. During a special operation conducted in the Variapola Bandara-Kospatha areas this morning, 4 individuals alleged to be members of the National Tawheed Jamaat organization were taken into custody. Police stated that they discovered a laptop, multiple DVD discs and cash worth approximately 300,000 rupees in the suspect's possession. Security forces also seized multiple books and leaflets written in Arabic. Police stated that the suspects were in the process of burning these leaflets when search operations were being conducted. Meanwhile, 2 suspects were taken into custody, while 1 sword and 4 knives were discovered during search operations conducted in the area. A lorry revealed to be involved in the terror attacks bearing the registration number EPPX2399 was discovered opposite a house in Sungavilla, Polonnaruwa this morning. 3 suspects have also been arrested in connection with the incident. Police said that the apprehended suspects are residents of Eraur, Polonnaruwa. Meanwhile, several vehicles and motorcycles wanted by the police were found in several areas including Vattala and Tiharia. An individual suspected to have assisted the suspects responsible for the vandalizing of Buddha statues in Mavanalla was arrested in Velambuda, Gampola. A laptop, mobile and several other equipment in the possession of the suspect was taken into custody by the police. Meanwhile, police searched a house in Lansiavatta, Vallampitiya this evening. The search operation was conducted following information received that the suicide bomber behind the explosion in Dehiwala was residing in the house. Police discovered 10 abandoned live ammunition bullets in Webadagala, Nittambuwa following a tip-off received by locals. Court today granted permission to detain and interrogate the 2 suspects from the National Tawheed Jamaat who were arrested from Messenger Street, Kotahena by the Intelligence Bureau in Colombo. The duo will be detained until the 2nd of May. The suspects were produced before Colombo Additional Magistrate Bandara Nelumdeniya today. Police seized several CDs, a laptop and several mobile phones from the possession of the suspects at the time of arrest. Meanwhile, villagers in Madurakuli Mundala areas were searched by the police and Sri Lanka Army. 7 suspects were arrested during the search operation. Police seized an air rifle, a computer, several number plates and sharp weapons during the search operation. A teacher at the Talduwa Muslim School in Avissavella was arrested during a search operation. Police seized 14 mobile phones, 20 CDs, a printer, a scanner, a laminating machine and 5 rubber seals. A suspicious van was seized by the Sri Lanka Air Force following a search operation in Valimata. Police also discovered foreign currency notes worth more than 100,000 rupees.
Special operations were conducted at a number of locations in the Mannar district. Security forces discovered 10 detonators in Vidattaltiv Mannar. 4 suspects were also arrested.
Now on to some international inputs put in by the international community to this story. U.S. Ambassador to Sri Lanka said that United States believes members of the militant group blamed for Sri Lanka's Easter Sunday attacks may be at large and planning more assaults.
I can't comment on specific intelligence or investigative information, but I believe our warning is valid and still stands, which is that we do believe that there is active plotting underway, and we have warned U.S. citizens and then, of course, others who might read our warnings to be mindful of places that might make attractive targets for terrorists. And I think that they will not fail to move ahead on making necessary changes. Nobody wants to see a repeat of what happened on Easter Sunday. Again, I would ask politicians to sort of rise above the politics as usual and be thinking about the needs of the country, about the unity that's going to be needed to overcome a terrible event such as this nature.
Meanwhile, the Indian Express Agency reported that Indian National Investigation Agency raided 3 locations in Kasaragod and Palakkad in Kerala on suspicion of youths there being in touch with an Islamic State recruiter. The agency carried out searches at the houses of 3 suspects who are believed to have links with 20 youths from Kerala who had in 2016 left for Afghanistan to join the IS. Some of these youths had travelled to Sri Lanka before sneaking into Afghanistan through Iran. Quoting sources, the Indian Express said that it was following a similar raid in Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu in December 2018 that the NIA had stumbled upon the plot of a suspected attack in Sri Lanka. On the 4th of April, the Tamil Nadu DGP had sent an alert to all commissioners and superintendents of police warning that the Lanka-based National Tawheed Jamaat or NTJ, named in the Sri Lankan blasts, was planning to attack Lankan establishments in the state. The NIA had found a video of NTJ member Zaharan Hashim on the phone of one of the suspects held in Coimbatore. Intelligence agencies have found that Hashim had travelled to both Tamil Nadu and Kerala in the past couple of years. Issuing a press release, the Transparency International Sri Lanka expressed its shock and dismay over the tragic loss of life afflicted on our country on Easter Sunday. The release says the TISL wishes to highlight the role that corruption can play in eroding national security, particularly on issues of procurement. On several occasions in the past, Sri Lanka's national security has been exposed as a result of allegedly fraudulent procurement and tender practices, in addition to allegations of serious conflicts of interest. It has been TISL's long-standing position that there is a need for greater information sharing across all state agencies. Executive Director Asoka Obesekara said, quote-unquote, the current culture of secrecy, which has been reinforced by legislative provisions and the establishment court, continues to foster an environment where public institutions are operating within their own silos with limited common purpose. Through experience, we have seen this resulting in examples of two competing agencies investigating the same issues with a reluctance to share information, thereby clearly working against the public interest.
Now, investigations have revealed that the murder of the two police officers in Vaunathiv was committed by those responsible for the Easter Sunday serial bombings. This was revealed by the driver of Zahran Hashim, the mastermind behind the Easter Sunday attack, while being interrogated by the police. The missing revolvers belonging to the deceased police officers was found in Ninthavur and Vanathviluputlam. 3 individuals suspected to be directly involved in this incident are currently in the custody of the CID. 2 rehabilitated LTTE cadre members were previously arrested in connection with the murder of the 2 police officers.
My husband was arrested in connection with the murder of 2 police officers in Vaunathiv. I only know the pain I had to suffer with 5 children during the past 5 months. They said they will conduct further investigations and release my husband. However, nothing has happened.
It has been confirmed that the individual named Ajantan, who is currently detained, is not involved in the murder of the 2 policemen. It has been accepted that those responsible for the recent terror attack are responsible for the murder of these policemen. However, the government is yet to make a statement regarding the release of those currently imprisoned.
Now, the investigation into this terrorist attack has also led to the arrest of a number of provincial councillors.
Police arrested Kotte Municipal Councillor Haja Mohideen Ali Usman yesterday for the possession of 3 swords, a machete, a CD containing footage of army battles, 2 mobile phones and computer accessories. Initial investigations had revealed that the arrested municipal councillor and his brother were members of the National Tawheed Jamaat organization. He is being questioned under detention orders. On the 26th of this month, Colombo Municipal Councillor Noordin Muhammad Tajuddin was arrested by police. He was arrested in connection to the discovery of 46 swords at a mosque in Slave Island. The Colombo Crimes Division is currently interrogating the suspect. Deputy Mayor of Negombo, Mohammed Ansar, was arrested for the possession of sharp weapons and 38 mobile phone batteries on the 27th of this month. Former chairman of the Vattala Urban Council, Mohammed Naushad's brother, Mohammed Rifaz, was also arrested on the 24th. He was in possession of communication devices, a stock of explosives and a symbol of the now banned National Tawheed Jamaat organization.
Thank you, Joel, for bringing us the latest developments on the investigations into the terror attacks on the Easter Sunday. Now, the report submitted by the special 3-member committee appointed to probe Sunday's terror attacks will be made available to all parties, according to President Maithripala Sirisena.
The President said that he will table the report in Parliament and implement the defence plan for the future. The President said that he is due to receive the report of the committee that was appointed with the highest judicial powers within 2 weeks. The President made these statements at a gathering where senior defence officials met after the event where the new Defence Secretary General Shantha Kottegoda received his letter of appointment at the Defence Ministry. The president stated that he will ensure the country's administration will not be affected by these terrorist attacks and ensured to maintain the stability of the country.
Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit, expressed his views to the media today.
We are not satisfied with the current programs in place. We are not informed of the steps that will be taken against those who are confirmed as the perpetrators. A prominent figure in our area was arrested and released yesterday. There is an element of suspicion as to what happens to the information they obtain. After such information is analyzed and compiled, we wonder if we could be informed and made aware of information regarding those behind this attack. I urge the youth to refrain from spreading aggressive content that betrays our spirituality. Rumor has it that I was given a bulletproof vehicle. I have been provided with such a vehicle for security and I have been asked not to go out. So when I have to travel, I get into a vehicle that has been assigned to me by the security forces. I never inquired as to whether the vehicle is bulletproof or not. I get into whatever the vehicle that I am provided with.
bulletproof car එකක් ඕනේ නැහැ කියලා මේක අරන් යන්න කියලා. කොහොමද දැන් ඒක යවලා තියෙන්නේ.
මේක ඇතුළේ කියලා තියෙනවා මේ සිද්ධියෙන් පස්සේ ඇමරිකන් ඩොලර් සංගක් අපිට හම්බුණා. අපි රටට වාසියක් පාදලා.
That is such a stupid statement. I'm asking, do we disgrace ourselves in such a manner? Do we beg to that extent?
Minister of Health Dr. Rajitha Senaratne expressed these views at a media briefing in Colombo today.
The information we have received shows that it was Gotabaya Rajapaksa who has supported organizations like National Tawheed Jamaat and the Bodu Bala Sena. The latest information we received was about the murder in Batticaloa, where 2 police constables were killed while on duty. It was 4 army officers who directed operations with the use of intelligence information. It has been revealed that they are linked to Gotabaya Rajapaksa. 26 officers were paid by the intelligence. Salaries were also paid to Tawheed Jamaat members. Suicide bomber Abdul Razik was the secretary of the organization. He was paid as an officer of army intelligence. It was the former major general who coordinated these activities. It was this major general who represented Gotabaya Rajapaksa in the operations board. This is the Tawheed Jamaat organization, and this was the picture the organization has taken with the former president. The one on top is our very own patriot Uday Gammanpilla. There are photographs with Vimal Veeravansa as well. So these are the extremists with them. A minister at the time, Hizbullah and Dalasalha Peruma signed an agreement to build a Sharia university in Batticaloa. But now they say that the university should be closed. But who signed it? They signed it.
MP Mahindanand Alutgamage also spoke to the media at the Colombo Magistrate Court's premises today.
During the UNP group meeting yesterday, it was decided to counter-attack Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The proposal was put forward by Rajitha Senaratne. At this decisive time period, we have decided to give our fullest support to the government. If they are going to sling mud, we will have to do the same. So we will tell them, do not make us sling mud at you. At a time when the national security is at risk, the government should bring everyone together. The UNP should take advantage of Gotabaya Rajapaksa, not sling mud at him.
Meanwhile, a group of UNPs say that Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca should be appointed to the ministerial position of law and order.
We urge the President to hand this responsibility over to Sarath Fonseca. If not, the people of our country will take to the streets. The people believe that Sarath Fonseca will fulfill this responsibility. Don't take this lightly and don't let this problem escalate. At times like this, where the national security is at risk, the Ministry of Law and Order was always under the Ministry of Defence. You cannot ensure national security if there is no proper relationship between the Ministry of Defence and police. So this should be brought under one secretary and one minister. According to our constitution, the President cannot pass the responsibility of the Ministry of Defence to someone else. He doesn't have the authority. This has been confirmed by a Supreme Court decision.
ජනාධිපතිවරයාට අයිතියක් නැහැ බලයක් නැහැ. ඒ ශ්‍රේෂ්ඨාධිකරණ තීන් දුවකින් තහවුරු කරලා තියෙනවා.
ජනාධිපතිතුමා මේ දිනවල විශාල වගකීමක් බාර අරගෙන
The President has taken up a huge responsibility of eradicating terrorism. The President should decide if he is going to fulfill the tasks in this regard or if he is going to hand this over to another minister. If a temporary government is being formed in the opposition to make sure that terrorism is eradicated, to maintain stability and to hold elections, we can think about a way out of this. I think a government with everyone's consent should be formed.
Up next is another special report. Shalin Benedict is ready to bring us the details. Shalin.
Thank you very much, Azra. Now, we bring you this expose based on the Auditor General's report on the investment management of the Mahapola Higher Education Scholarship Trust Fund and a complaint made at the Bribery Commission by MP Vijayadasa Rajapaksa. Now, to give you an outline of this story, the Sri Lanka Institute of Information Technology, Malabe, is an asset belonging to the Mahapola Scholarship Trust Fund. Now, but on the 12th of May 2016, all the assets belonging to this institution, including the lands and the buildings, were handed over to a separate administration by two members appointed to the Board of Trustees by MP Gamini Javikrama Pereira. Now, it must be noted that the transfer of these assets to a separate administration is completely illegal, and it has corruption written all over it. The assets that were valued at 28,000 million rupees were given off for a mere price of 408 million rupees. Now, the institution initially began in 1999 with a government grant of 500 million rupees plus a 25-acre plot of land. Now, since the inception, this institution was public property, but however, the assets of this institution, through meticulous means, now there were cabinet papers presented at the cabinet meeting in this regard. Certain ministers might have been misled, but through meticulous means, steps were taken to remove this property from the oversight of the minister. Now, when the matter was taken up in cabinet, Minister Mangala Samaravira voiced his strong objection against this. Of course, this clearly alludes to the forces of Ranil Wickremesinghe at work behind this massive corruption deal. Now, the total loss suffered by the government, according to the Auditor General's report, is valued at over 40 billion rupees. Now, this was also stated in a complaint made by MP Vijayadasa Rajapaksa to the Bribery Commission. The Presidential Commission has also recorded a statement on this matter. Now, what more, this institution is connected to the investments that were made following the central bank bond scam. This involves companies including Natwell Securities. Now, this is, of course, a very complex story, and we here at News First will bring you the details of this entire story. We will break it down piece by piece so that you can understand the exact loss and the exact impact these kinds of deals have had on the economy of the country and the damages caused to the treasury of this country and to the money of the general public through the selfish actions of certain corrupt politicians. Azra, it's back to you.
Thank you, Shalin, for bringing us that special report. Now, going into more local news, the Colombo Business Association convened a media briefing today to talk about the impact the Easter terror attacks has on the business community.
Actually, we got a golden opportunity in mid last year that we have been nominated as a destination from the Lonely Planet, that this is the best travel destination. So we were all very excited, and we had a lot of plans for the entire year and for this year as well. So we couldn't capitalize anything on that because we had a calamity in the last year end, as well as when we are trying to recover from it, and this has happened during the second best season. So obviously we expect the government or the authorities to give us a proper feedback to us, saying what is the steps that they are going to take it to restore. Obviously the peace and harmony is the primary. Other than that, what are they going to do to bring back the tourists who are already traveling to Sri Lanka?
Now, foreign media reported that British spooks fear that more Sri Lanka-type atrocities are thought to be focusing their attacks on tourist destinations.
Quoting the International Centre for the Study of Radicalisation at King's College London, the Times said, quote, "Now that ISIS has been defeated in Syria and Iraq, it will become more violent outside this area," unquote. The report added, and I quote, "It's a grim outlook, but we are likely to see more attempts at attacks more regularly for the foreseeable future. Sri Lanka was not a one-off. If anything, it was a test run," unquote.
And that's the wrap of this edition of Primetime News. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Azra San. Thank you for joining us. Good night.